Ready for this?
Yeah.
Two guys talking without wearing pants. Podcast. You can take our ideas.
Welcome back to the Pantless podcast. Here's your hosts, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. What's going on, guys?
What's up? Didn't even see all the finger banging I was doing.
Oh,
And
don't
you just
do-
missed. You missed.
don't
You
do
missed
that.
it all.
Drink,
Ooh.
ching.
Okay. Oh, ching ching. You're that direction, so that means I'm going this direction.
Yep.
All right.
Welcome back. Look at that.
Yeah. What is that?
That
Cauldron?
is a
Black cauldron?
flying cauldron butterscotch beer,
Ooh.
non-alcoholic.
Sounds delicious.
It's not actually got any alcohol in it.
You did say non-alcoholic.
It does say in massive letters on the front, non-alcoholic. Just so you know.
Yeah.
So
They gotta be redundant. Like, I heard the ad on the radio because Thor Ragnarok dropped last night on Disney Plus.
doesn't actually have love or thunder.
Well, no, it said PG-13 may not be suitable for children under 13.
Oh,
Like,
what?
That's what PG-13 means.
I thought that was what.
Yeah, you don't have to say.
This isn't mathing properly. Round off the two. Hey, how have you been doing there, sir? How have you been eating? Let's say that. How have you been eating?
I haven't had much of an appetite lately, so I haven't been eating great.
Oh.
My wife did make some chicken and dumplings, and I've been able to munch on that for a couple days. Oh, it's so good. So freaking good.
I friggin' grilled some steaks, marinated in some fancy marinade I bought.
Yeah.
And then we bought some like fancy cheese and spinach, like spinach and ricotta raviolis from Sam's that I boiled up and threw some sauce on with the steaks I bought.
Woo.
That was dinner tonight. It was good. Way too much food. Way too much food.
Oh,
Like I got leftover steak and raviolis.
Did you take a picture of it and tweet at the Pantless Pod 1?
I did not.
Fail.
I did. 100%.
Did you see mine?
I did not. I don't actually.
You don't even check. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, on Tuesday or Wednesday, I did some diced up some steak and put some like a garlic buttery mix and put it in the air fryer, and the wife made some mashed potatoes and attempted to make some green beans and carrots, but that didn't happen very well. But the steak was pretty good. I didn't get to eat a bunch of it because my tummy was going, oh no. But
did you tweet through ours or through yours? Your personal?
I tweeted the podcast account from my personal account.
Oh, it's not showing. Unless it's going to show here.
Should be like as a mention or something.
Yeah, I don't really know. Not sure.
Still don't know how to use Twitter.
Nope.
So, folks, if you're tweeting us, we don't know what we're doing.
No, I don't. I don't ever get tweeted at, so I don't know how to check those. Football's back, sir. That's the most important part.
Oh, yeah.
Football's back, and I feel stupid.
Yeah, you had a lot of points coming from a defense that wasn't even
Sat on my
starting
bench.
in your lineup.
I got in my own head, got in my own way, and just absolutely, I saw that my starting defense, I have Buffalo defense, and I saw they were starting week 1 against the Rams and went, that's going to be a high scoring game.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of points, a lot of yards. I better do something about this. My only saving grace is that I got Cincinnati defense starting against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think you could actually score more than, because Pittsburgh's offense is going to be terrible this year.
Yeah,
And Cincinnati's defense is good anyway.
good.
So
so
there could be 2 or 3 pick sixes. So you could end up scoring over 20 with Cincinnati.
the Bills were projected to only score 5.2. They scored 18.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen put me 31.48.
And we lost Travis.
You paused for a minute. Am I back?
You're back. I
Okay.
see you. Okay.
Yes. No, Josh Allen scored 31.4. So,
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that game?
I did not watch any of it.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
He threw
Pretty.
2 interceptions
Mm.
and scored 31 points.
Good.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't have anybody playing that game. I did in my other league. I had Stephon Diggs, and he just
yeah.
helped me jump up in my projections. So
Yeah.
he balled out.
That's okay.
But-
I have Buffalo's third running back on my bench, and he got a negative 1.8. He did good. He had 3 carries with a fumble.
I've already got somebody salivating over Antonio Gibson.
I was looking over on what I could do to trade you for him, and realized I don't really have much to give you for him. And he isn't even projected. He'll only start through week 4.
We'll see until they see how much he balls out. They're like, we can't put this guy on the bench.
Well, he lost the starting position in the preseason and training camp, and then the starter got shot in the leg twice. He's on my IR right now, actually.
Yeah.
I actually drafted Robinson late, which I realized we actually haven't had a chance to talk on here because we drafted after we recorded last week. So we actually haven't really talked much about our teams.
No.
As I'm disappointed with my running backs yet again.
Yeah.
Because none of them fell to me.
It happens.
In order for me to get it where I was picking, in order for me to get a decent running back, I would have had to have went further down the list and not got the players. I draft. Why is Deebo Samuel not a dual wide receiver running back?
What is he listed as?
Just a wide receiver. Just a wide receiver. Somebody's like, "Oh, you can put him in a flex." I'm like, "Flex off." I don't I don't need him in a flex. I could if they'd let me put him in as a running back, and then I could move. I drafted Chris Olave for New Orleans, their rookie wide receiver. Picked him up late. Got Julio Jones, picked him up late.
He's old,
but he's getting but Tom Brady's gonna be throwing to him this year.
And he's old. You just want old people. You want old people throwing to old people.
Hey, I also have Matt Ryan on my roster.
Oh, and Matty Ice. Matty Ice could be 90, and I would love him.
He was still. I needed a backup quarterback, and I was gonna pick up Wentz, and I don't know who picked. Somebody else picked up Wentz, and I was like, I guess I'll take Matt Ryan. So, but I did.
Yeah.
So, this year I'm excited to actually have a consistent kicker. As last year, I remember floating around about 6 of them last year.
Yeah.
I decided not to pick a kicker until second or third to last pick last year, and all of them were gone.
Yeah.
And then picked up Evan McPherson for Cincinnati. That just hits bombs from,
he does.
Yards plus consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's ice cold, man. He will hit that game winner from 58 yards out. And just be like, that's what I do.
A rookie last year.
He was the one that was just called. He's like, hey guys, I'm gonna win this game for us.
Yeah, he's the one who was calling all the shots. Like he was doing like the Babe Ruth. He'd like get out there and he'd like point like, don't worry guys, I got it. Like everything I've heard, he's hilarious. And he's a character. And I'm like,
right.
That's who I want on this team. He's gonna take me to our Super Bowl. He's projected to score more than half of my team.
That's funny.
He's projected to score 9.
Yeah. And see, I waited until the second to the last pick to get a kicker, and I got Justin Tucker, and he's a good kicker. He's a good kicker. I don't know how people just let him go. And he's projected to outscore my flex, my tight end, and my defense.
I thought the other guy, I thought the Robin said he got Tucker.
Oh, maybe I'm looking at Robin's football team because he was the one that was. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he got Justin. You had me confused. I was like, wait.
Then who did I get? I don't even know who I got then. Here I am bragging about the kicker that I got. Oh, okay, I got Dustin Hopkins, who's still projected to outscore my
Dustin
defense.
Hopkins? Yeah. Yeah. Where did you come from picking up Washington's defense?
I don't know. That was my last pick. My last pick, Washington was just sitting there, and I'm like, okay.
Realized you didn't have a defense yet?
That's true. Yeah, I literally got to the last pick, and everything went blank. It's like you can't not pick a position. So it got to the last pick, and then my whole screen just went only to defenses, and like, this is what you're gonna pick from.
That's because I don't remember what. I just remember looking, and I'm like, I need a running back. This is like in the first like 4 rounds. And it's like I need a running back, and there was like none that I saw. That's like maybe in 5th round. When did I get my quarterback? When did I pick up Josh Allen? Because it was earlier than I wanted, but somebody had already grabbed a quarterback. Somebody grabbed Herbert that round.
Mm-hmm. Which, that was weird. Herbert went like first, or no, he was 2nd round.
Third. I picked up Allen in the 3rd round. Because I saw somebody pick up Herbert, and I'm like,
yeah, it was.
What was this pick?
That was a complete, like, I've never even heard of this kid. Like
Justin Herbert. He's been the quarterback for the Chargers for like the last 3 years. He's in his like 3rd or 4th season with the Chargers.
Has he been like successful and I just didn't know or something?
He's a Chargers quarterback.
Is he worth a 2nd round pick?
No.
And he was.
I've been happy to.
Was he the first quarterback picked up?
He was the first quarterback taken.
I mean, I picked up Dak Prescott in like the 8th or 9th round.
You picked him up late.
He's going to be the MVP of the NFL this year.
No.
And people just let him fall to the 9th round, and I'm like,
you telling me a quarterback that can't even, you telling me a quarterback that's not even going to finish in the top 2 of the division is going to be an MVP? After Josh Allen's showing last night.
I mean, you're right. Jalen Hurts could do something, but you should be a commentator for ESPN. After the first game of the season, this is my MVP pick.
I would have picked him beforehand, but after last night, it's like, holy crap. After he teabagged a freaking Jalen Ramsey on a play.
I didn't see that. That would be great.
It happened. Like, he did like some rush up the middle, and like a defender grabbed his leg, and they were trying to do the whole wishbone with his legs. And he was like hopping on one leg, and finally he went down, and I guess Jalen Ramsey was underneath him. And when he went to go get up, he kind of like did some moves. It looked like his crotch like bounced off of Jalen Ramsey's head like a couple times as he was trying to get up off the pile. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
Picked up a running back that broke my heart last season.
Yeah.
That Travis Etienne Jr. from Clemson. That's.
Oh yeah, he played for Jacksonville, right?
Yeah,
or does he still?
He blew out his ACL in week 1 of preseason last season, and he was like I picked him like early, and then like
Yeah.
that week of preseason he blows his ACL and out for the season. But I got him my starting running back. We're going for it again.
This man,
We're,
you got this.
we're season 2, me and him together. How do you think Juju Smith-Schuster is gonna do?
I think he's gonna be middle of the pack. Middle of the
That's
pack.
why he's in my flex. Let's look at your team and see what you've got here.
I've got the NFL MVP, Dak Prescott.
You're not doing bad. Derrick Henry. When's he gonna get
Antonio.
hurt?
He's actually going to be taking care of himself this year, being highly focused
Being
on
the
not
only-
getting hurt.
Being
And
the
so-
only good player on that team.
Antonio Gibson, he's going to ball out. He's going to
He
take
can.
back his starting role. He will.
T. Higgins, don't know much about him. DK Metcalf is having no quarterback.
He'll be fine. He's their star.
Hope
He'll
he
be
doesn't
fine.
get locked out. Kelsey's about the only good player on your team.
Okay.
He's about the only consistent player on your. Let's say that.
David Montgomery, for some reason, the fantasy people don't love him,
Because
but
he plays for the worst
balls
team in the
out.
NFL.
He always performs.
But he
He's
plays for
never underperformed. Like, I have gotten more joy. I've had multiple years where I've had Christian McCaffrey and David Montgomery,
Yeah.
and David Montgomery wins me
outperformed.
games. Christian McCaffrey hurts my heart.
He hurts everything else on his body as well.
And I was actually, as the third pick, I was anticipating picking up Christian McCaffrey because I figured Derrick Henry was going to go. Derrick Henry was my number 1. Christian McCaffrey was my number 2. And how it went, the number 1 overall pick was Cooper Kupp.
Yep, because it was auto drafted.
Well, no. He was the number 1 overall pick, and that he was
That's
live
right.
in the draft the whole draft.
That was the Kings got him.
No, the Pirates.
Pirates.
The Kings picked up that kid from the Colts who was projected as. I love the Colts.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I don't think
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor's going to perform like he
He
had a good like.
Well, he
He
would have
had
done better
the beginning of the
last year.
season.
He would have done better last year, but Carson Wentz kept checking out of runs in games where they were leading. That he should have got more carries. It was reported that Carson Wentz was checking out of the runs to throw the ball, and would throw interceptions or incomplete passes, and they weren't running the ball as much. Now that they have Matt Ryan, who's a smarter quarterback, Jonathan Taylor's a freaking hoss in the backfield. He'll tear it up.
I hope so. I hope so for my Colts. I just think that was kind of a fluke season. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. But he got picked up, and then that left Derrick Henry still there at number 3. And I'm like, yeah, I'm taking. Derrick Henry was my number 1. If I was the number 1 pick, I would have picked Derrick Henry.
I was just
And
sitting
he was sitting there at number 3. I'm like, okay.
I was just sitting there watching players, like up, and then Deebo Samuel was at the top, and I'm like, I can't pass up Deebo Samuel because if I don't pick him up, Mark, with the 2 solid picks, like back to back, will get him.
Yeah.
So, solid pick picking up DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, that was
I guess, is he suspended?
he is. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks.
You didn't put him on IR? Will it let you put him on IR with suspended?
It will not. No, they have to be like injured. They have to be out.
Oh, so if I picked up Deshaun, he's going to say I take up a bench and not an IR.
Right.
Ooh. Because I thought about picking up Deshaun. Because he'll be ready week 11, I think. 11 or 12. Is when he's coming back.
I'm going to check on Hopkins now, though. Because
Kareem Hunt's a solid backup.
yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
There were some quarterbacks that I saw still, like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are, like, decent quarterbacks that are still free agents. Jameis Winston. starter for the Saints, who's actually I was watching some stuff today, and some people are actually expecting him to possibly win that division over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know.
Come on, the best quarterback the Giants have ever had in history, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
The other awesome starting quarterback in New York, Joe Flacco.
Oh man, you know, he's an elite quarterback.
He was. Ryan Tannehill, Geno Smith, Mitch Trubisky, starter in Pittsburgh. Mac Jones, which I guess he just doesn't score points because they don't let him throw the ball.
I wouldn't let Mac Jones throw the ball either.
Davis Mills. Oh, Dougie Mills had a throwing for Houston this year. Like Jacoby Brissett for Cleveland. Like, who's not picking these quarterbacks up?
You didn't pick him up, sir. You didn't pick him up.
No, because I got a solid backup in Matt Ryan, sir.
Okay.
I am rostering 2 defenses right now.
Yeah. Should only be rostering 1, and that's the Buffalo Bills.
Mistakes were made, sir. I'm going to live with them. It's just going to leave a roster spot open. Well, I've already got a player on IR, so.
Okay, so apparently Gert had a random ball out. His flex player, who happened to be a receiver for Buffalo,
Oh, Gabe Davis, yeah.
ended up just blowing out. He scored 4. He was projected to score 8.5 and scored 14.8. And now Gert's projected to beat me. If I lose to the Lame Ducks or whatever their name is,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be.
I mean, Duck Squad.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's got Brady as his quarterback, so I'll be fine. They're playing Dallas. Brady's gonna throw 2 or 3 picks. I'll be fine.
I mean, he's got a solid team.
For some reason, they have Brady outperforming Dak.
He's a
No,
better quarterback.
no.
I mean,
No.
how does Gert got almost a better team than I have? And he's not even going to pay attention to this stuff.
He's got CeeDee Lamb. That's how.
I mean, other than the Steelers' defense, which there's better defenses in free agency right now. That's hilarious. Yeah, Gabe Davis scored the first touchdown of the game Thursday. So, it is what it is. I hope you don't lose.
I don't lose.
You might. Hey,
You're right.
We want to talk about some breaking news.
Breaking news.
This is old news.
Yeah?
That's inappropriate. My bad. I shouldn't say that. Our good old queen has passed.
That's right. That's right. And if it's crazy, like every time anything was mentioned about her, I was always surprised that she was still alive. I'm just like,
She was
man,
96, sir.
And at the same time, I never thought she would die.
Nobody expected.
I was always surprised she was alive, but I never thought she would die. It was like this crazy
That's
enigma.
about right.
It,
I saw some stuff on the internet yesterday that was like, people are in shock. The Queen Elizabeth has died. I'm like, who's in shock? Everybody's been waiting for her to die.
right?
Like they said that like 2 days ago she was doing great. She got a minor illness and passed away. I'm like, when you're 96, a sneeze could kill you. Like,
Yeah.
Like 96, stubbing your toe is.
Yeah. Blood clot, you're dead. Yeah.
At
You're
that
right.
age, you're lucky to still be breathing.
It's crazy. I don't even know if, we've had a lot of breaking news from across the pond, And I wonder if this is going to put an end to that. If this is the last breaking news
I
that's
doubt
going
it.
to go to. You're right. Because, what's crazy is King Charles now. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, they
We're
said that.
going to say that probably for 7 or 8 months because he looks older than his mom. So, I don't know.
I read something on Twitter. Let's see if I can find it. I read one that was pretty hilarious. It says, nope, that's a different one. It was some NASCAR news. It was one of them that it said something about right here it says you're never too old to achieve your dreams. Prince Charles is 73 and he just got his first job.
Oh, I know. Somebody was asking. They're like, "Hey, did you hear about the Queen?" And I was like, "I think I saw something." They're like, "Yeah, the Queen died." And I'm like, "That is crazy." And he goes, "Yeah, it's crazy." He goes, "But I just checked the scoreboard and it's still 1776 to 0." And I'm like, "Wow."
Wow. I think I know who said that, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But what a lot of people don't realize is the royal family has not had power in
really,
governance for what, like 30 years, 15, 20 years. Like, she ruled back in the 70s, maybe in the 80s she had some power, but the way the government has kind of shifted over there,
right?
she's just a figurehead. She's almost as useless as our presidents.
Just about, just about.
At least they have the same thing for generations. We have to change every 4 years.
Right. But who knows? That might change soon.
Every 8 if we're lucky.
Who knows?
But
who knows?
Yep, sad day.
Yep. Rip Queen. Rip Queen.
So what?
Long live the king. Should we go there? Should we say that?
What'd you say?
Should we say long live the king?
We must now. Because we can't say that about the queen.
That's right.
Long die the queen.
Wow. But that's moving on. Moving on.
Hey, we watched a movie. How did you like that?
Retro movie.
I cannot believe I've never seen this movie. It was
movie.
Fantastic. It was so good. It was funny, and at the same time, it was like serious.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider. This was his best performance.
Fumble liar, fumble rooski.
He was so funny. He was like dry, but it sounded so real. Like it was like I want him to become an announcer. Like he needs to be an announcer for football. Like it was hilarious. I can't even remember everything he said, but it was just everything he said was gold. It was just comedy gold.
What other football movie have you ever watched that if you just watched the final game and how that final game ended, how they celebrated at the end of that game, and then I stepped in and said, that team finished 1-8-1. That was the first win of their season. They won one game this year. They tied with Kansas.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Looks like they won the championship. No, that's their only win of the season.
Yeah.
And they killed that man on the field. When the big Hawaiian guy just blindsided
that was
top,
so cool. That was so cool.
Flies off and you just see him just spewing blood. It's like, wait, did that man just die?
Yep. So cool.
What'd you think of Jason Bateman in this one? Or am I thinking of...
No, is that his name? Jason Bateman?
I think I was right there.
Super young. The guy from Arrested Development, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wild. He was seeing him so young.
He wasn't as young as I thought he would be, but...
Oh, man. I don't know. I thought he was super young.
And Kathy Ireland was super young in this one.
She was very young. Like, I barely recognized her. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know where
Yeah,
I
Jason Bateman. Yeah. Do what?
said I can't remember her in, like, recent movies, but she looked a lot younger
Mm-hmm.
than I remember. I don't know. Maybe I've only seen her recently.
I don't even know what all else I remember seeing her in. Cause I always forget what movies she was in.
Isn't she usually with, like, Charlie Sheen in movies or something?
Yeah,
Or was she
that's what I'm
married to
thinking of.
Charlie Sheen or something? I don't know. Something like that. Something like that. But yeah, it was, and I loved that.
Oh, she was married to Greg Olson
Okay.
since 1988.
And then we had Mr. Quantum Leap himself
Yep.
as the aged quarterback. Loved it. Scott Bakula.
Yep. I thought that's who that. I'm like, wait, that's who that is. Sinbad.
Sinbad. Yes.
And did you?
And then we had an all-star cast of, like, pro football players that were a bunch of prisoners just making a random cameo for a minute and a half.
Good old Evander Holyfield.
Oh, goodness. Super impressive. I'm surprised that I've never seen this movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Herschel
And the only
Walker was in it.
Yeah, I saw Herschel Walker, Jerry Rice. I think I saw Jerry Rice.
Dick Butkus.
Yeah, Dick Butkus was
Jerry
in there.
Rice. Yeah, Jerry Rice is one of the.
Yeah, Dick Butkus, I think, was the first off the bus.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at all. Earl Campbell was one of the convicts. Randy White. Did not even. Ed Jones. Okay. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention to the.
I think it was the whole bus was just like pro. I mean, Evander Holyfield was, but you know, NFL, mainly NFL player. Like, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And they just get lit up, and it's funny.
It's just, answer me this in the game they're playing against Kansas.
Was Kansas the only like actual team that they played? Like,
yes, actually, that was the only real team.
I wonder what the story behind that was. Like, why did they get to say Kansas Jayhawks, but then they had to say Texas Colts, or you know? Like,
Yeah.
What is the scoop with that?
I don't
What's
know,
the
but
scoop?
they tied Kansas at the end of the fourth quarter, and the game just ended.
Yeah.
They didn't go into overtime.
Yeah, that's how it was back in the day.
I thought at least college used to play one overtime.
Even back then?
I
don't know.
May not. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know either.
It's like, I think they're bending some rules here. Like, especially when when she kicks that field goal and ties the game, and that linebacker just comes in and just mauls her.
Yeah.
And then she kicks him. It's like, all right, I guess we don't have penalties in this. And what's funny is they are playing for Texas State.
Yeah.
And in real life, Texas State is the Bobcats. The first team that they were playing against was, I think it was UTSA, Texas San Antonio, I think. And they were the Bobcats. And I think they're actually the Roadrunners.
Yeah. UTSA is the
They're the Roadrunners.
I thought they were playing like Southwest Texas.
It might have been.
But yeah, one of the funniest scenes, once again, it's so out there and random that you would think that it's just like the whole movie is just a slapstick, silly movie. But it was when Samurai just goes out and just starts kicking people, and then the ref's like, head kick to the face mask, Horo Huisa sword slash to the chest, Hideki Mako punch, and then he's just like, oh, whatever, 15-yard penalties, first down. He's just like saying all these Japanese words and doing the motions like it's an actual penalty in the game. And then he just wears himself out. I'm like, but he just did it so serious. It was just so funny. It was just a great. I like how they did it. I wish every movie was done that way. So good. And then you had that scene with the coach at the end, the assistant coach with his halftime speech, where he just starts like going off on the players, starts dropping all these F bombs and cuss words, and then
Let's pray.
like, let us pray.
I don't know. I don't know if you played football in like middle school, high school, but did that not? You probably would have been playing around the same time I was. Did that not just take you back to how it was back then?
That's how it was, yeah.
Where they just throwing cussing and just throwing clipboards and just right after their rant. All right, let's pray. All right, guys, let's bring it in. You're like,
Loved it. It was so
I only
good.
heard, and we'll get into this later. I only heard 2 F-bombs.
See,
I
I only
only
heard
like
one.
2 or 3.
Oh, maybe there was one because there was one before, then one in the halftime. Yeah. Okay.
Quarterback threw one down, and then he threw one. There was only like 3 or 4 total cuss words the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those sneaky ones because I was like trying to listen. I'm like, because around sports and coaches, that you just hear that kind of stuff, and you don't even think about it. Like that's just common language, and so I'm like, okay, I got to be hyper focused to make sure that I'm actually catching these words because I know they're gonna slip by me if I'm just watching the movie. And then I caught some words.
Yeah. It surprises me that there's one actor in this movie that I think plays in like almost every 90s football movie that I've really ever seen. It was the guy that was riding the bull. The actor's Andrew Bryanarski. He wasn't in this. He didn't really make a
cowboy.
The what?
The big cowboy.
Yeah, the big cowboy. He was like had the chaw in, and the other guy like. Yeah. He's in. I think he's in the program. He's the one shooting up different stuff. He's
Never seen the program. Keep going.
He was in 3 or 4 different football movies in the 90s. Because it seemed like that was like his acting style. His niche was
because he's a muscled up steroid guy. So there's
football movies.
Football. That's him. Football.
Here, I'll pull him up real quick before. He was in. He's in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. He was in The Program, which was a football movie, which really good football movie from the 90s. He was in what other football movie? I know he was in at least one other one. Maybe it's because I watch The Program so often that I always see him. And that's like the only other movies I've ever seen him in are football movies. I may be wrong. But let's get into some Metacritic, which...
Okay, let's go.
23 critics.
Ooh, okay. So like I said, this movie was silly. I doubt the critics liked it. I'm going to say a 43.
You were close. Give it a 45.
Hmm.
Now, there's not enough user scores to give us a rating, but what?
Really?
What would you give this?
I think the fans would have loved this movie. I think they would have given it a 7.9. Is what I would guess.
Yeah.
In terms of football movies, man, I would have definitely rated it higher. I would personally give it probably an 8.6.
I don't know if I'd let it out of the 7s. I think I'd have gave it a mid 7, 7.6, 7.7.
I loved it, man. I just thought it was so funny, so well done. That I don't know. I just can't get over the humor, man. The humor, it was just so dry, but it wasn't over like. The humor was like humor you would find in a Naked Gun movie, but it wasn't so goofy. It was just It was like seriously. I don't know. I can't describe it. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the most wild thing that I've ever heard. but it was just done in such a serious manner. It just made it so funny. It's
Well,
like we're gonna be hilarious. We're gonna crack all these jokes, but make it look like we're being serious.
I think a lot of it had to do with the deadpan of the head coach, like how he was just no nonsense, just let's just get this done. Like if we mess around, we lose the team. So he's always
yeah. And man, that Dean was such a jerk. Like,
oh yeah,
oh man,
so
no
satisfying.
redeeming quality.
So satisfying when he just got mauled on the sideline.
Yeah, yeah, for
You're
sure.
fired. So
Good. All right, do this.
Critics gave it 5 positive, 13 mixed, 5 negative, and there was actually 2. It says 2 mixed user scores, but they're not shown. Chicago Sun-Times, we've had them a couple instances, gave it a 75. I've seen versions of the plot of Necessary Roughness in almost every other movie ever made about an underdog sports team, but I fell for it again this time because it was well done and because the movie doesn't try to pump itself up into more than it is. A good humored entertainment.
Yep.
Let's see here. The Oregonian.
Sounds good to me.
Something from Oregon.
Something from Oregon.
Yep. 63. Roughness at least has a few good laughs in the formula. That didn't even have enough words to put in the full movie name. Had to shorten a short name.
Wow.
So here, let's get down to the bottom here. The Tampa Bay Times gave it a 20.
Ooh.
Perhaps the NCAA should investigate how Necessary Roughness ever made it to the big screen. The movie-making team that fielded this fiasco would receive more sanctions than the University of Florida, Oklahoma, and Houston combined.
Oh.
That was wrote in 1991.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm guessing this would have been... This almost was like a retelling of the true story of SMU. If you remember what happened to SMU in the mid-80s, early to mid-80s.
No.
You don't remember?
Were they a powerhouse?
They won a national championship in like 80. What was it?
I did not know SMU won a national championship.
Yeah. And then they got hit with a bunch of sanctions.
And they've never been the same.
Let's see here. Let's jump into this because let me make sure. They won. Let's go. Because they didn't play football for like almost 10 years or 7 to 10 years. Just give me a minute. Let me.
They did not play football at all.
Correct. Their program was killed. In '87, SMU football became the first and only program in college leagues in history to receive the death penalty for repeat violations of NCAA rules, thus having the sports program fully terminated for a determined amount of time. Was terminated for the '87 season because the university was making approximately $61,000 in booster payments from '85 to '86. They were dead from '87 to '07. They didn't start playing football back until '08.
Wow, I didn't realize that. How crazy.
SMU posted 49-9-1 record from 80 to 84, which is the highest win percentage in Division 1A over that span. I know they may have won their national championship in the 40s. I thought they won 2. They won titles in 35, 81, and 82. SMU was a powerhouse in the 80s before they realized NCAA caught them cheating, and they were actually their whole program was killed for 10 years. Then had to start from the ground up with all new everything. So don't cheat.
Don't cheat. Don't do it.
So let's see what Common Sense Media has to say.
Heck yeah.
So Andrew Beach. Nope, sorry.
Beach.
Andrea Beach.
Ooh, okay.
I decided to speed read that name first.
That's fine.
My bad. Andrea Beach. 14 plus 1 star.
Wow. She did not like this movie.
I don't know. Awful 90s football story has hard hits, profanity, cliches.
Okay.
I guess 2 F-bombs just means it's chocked with profanities.
There were a lot of other words, though. Like I said, I was hyper focused. There were lots of other words. Not anything you wouldn't hear in real life. Like, it wasn't...
Okay.
I mean, it was all like stuff you would hear in real life, but at the same time, for somebody who's not from that world,
That's
it
fair.
might be like, whoa.
So one parent reviewed 10 plus 4 stars.
All right.
One kid, 14 plus 5 stars.
Wow. All right.
So, this is overview. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Positive messages.
Positive messages. Man, she was terrible, but I personally would give it probably a 4. She hated this movie, so I doubt she gave it very high.
No, she didn't. She gave it a 2. And then added some things that's like, I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be the trend going forward. Teams need strong leadership to reach their potential. Prevalent sexist attitudes toward female place kicker punter. I don't know why that's in positive messages. To be a good leader, you have to grow up. Sometimes just taking the field is a victory in itself.
Okay.
That's all she has to say about that. Positive role models.
Made 0 sense. Moving. So this is one of those weird ones where the characters were very flawed. Almost all of them, except for that Hawaiian guy. He was awesome.
He was the best character in the movie.
He was fantastic.
The Slim.
Yeah, he was the runt of the family.
Yeah. His nickname was the Slim. I love it.
I would say I would give it a 3 probably. It wouldn't surprise. I would be like, if you said 2, I'd be like, okay, but I probably would give it a 3.
She gave it a 2. It says, quarterback Paul Blake goes back to college mainly to play football, but takes academics seriously. He's aimlessly and uncomfortable with a leadership role, but eventually matures into it. Coach Gennaro is quiet, clever, lets people figure things out for themselves, and doesn't tolerate insubordination. Coach Rigg yells and swears a lot, plays the heavy, but also has good ideas.
That thing's better than a 2, in my opinion.
I mean, that's at least a 3, because he named 3 good characters.
3 good characters with positive traits. I mean, like I said, they were all flawed. They all had their flaws, but there were positive qualities. Moving on.
Violence and scariness, which we'll just cut the scariness off and just put violence.
Nothing scary. Violence. There was some violence. I could give it a 4. Maybe a 3.
I actually agree with her number, but I don't know if I'm going to agree with what she says because I haven't read it yet. She wrote a 2.
2, okay.
It was football violence. There was a I may have gave it a 3 because there was a little bit more violence than what you'd watch if you watch football on TV.
Yeah.
So it says old school football emphasizes hard hits. Some played for comedy. On the field, there are a few punches, lots of hard hits, a small amount of blood from scrapes and cuts. A bar fight shows kicks, punches, smashing tables and chairs, and breaking glass. A man is kicked in the groin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just good old hard knocks football.
You're not wrong, but I consider football a violent sport.
It is.
And, I'd be like, hey. And this was over the top. This was unrealistic. You wouldn't see those kind of hits on that regular of a basis in football.
There was I think when they were playing the final game, there were a couple sacks. When he took a couple of those sacks, like one of the last ones, he took that linebacker just came in and just elbowed him to the side of the head. And then 3 other guys just mauled him on the ground, and it's like, okay. Even in the 90s, that's a penalty. Like,
They were following their flags.
sex, romance, and nudity.
I'd say a 2. There was a scene where they woke up insinuating that something happened the night before, and then you didn't see anything, but there was Kathy Ireland's shower scene. So, I think that's really about it.
Okay. She gave it a 2, because there was some man butt in the shower scene.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there were man butts. Yeah,
which
true.
It seems like everything I've watched lately, that's even in the older stuff. And male nudity from behind in one brief shower scene, lewd sexist comments and curved gestures directed at female player.
Yeah.
A couple talk in bed sitting up, no nudity is shown. An excessive celebration includes lewd freaking type dance move. That was the Slim. He got that sack.
Yeah.
He was doing
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh my, the freaking type dance move. That's funny.
She quoted that. That's why I had to air quote that.
Oh man.
She put that in quotes. Language. I'm a little surprised as what she... Did I just not?
I would think that this would be a 3 or a 4. I'd probably go... It started out slow, but towards the end it picked up.
I guess
I'd give it a 3.5.
She gave it a 3. A word, S word, hell, A hole, B word,
yeah.
P word, BS, effing, damn it, son of B, lots of name calling, middle finger gesture. I do remember that one.
Yeah.
When the
inmate... I think I swallowed a finger, and then the guy gave him the finger.
I think I swallowed a finger. Which, a lot of those, I guess, I just didn't hear.
You had to be hyper-focused. I'm telling you, man, you had to be hyper-focused. This is one of those tricky ones. Football movies are tricky.
Products and purchases. Consumerism.
Gosh.
Give it a 5. Kansas State Jayhawks were in it.
I was going to give it a 1. I was going to say 1 because of the Kansas Jayhawks. I'd go 1. Yeah, 1 for the Kansas Jayhawks.
She gave it a 1. One bar scene shows typical logoed lights and signs that are Budweiser products. Gatorade dumped over winning coach.
Oh, the Gatorade. I forgot the Gatorade.
I forgot about the Gatorade. And the bar scene, there was some Budweiser signs. That's all she's got.
All right.
Drinking, drugs, and smoking.
Ooh, this was going to be tricky because there was a lot of drinking There was some tobacco use. So I don't know if they would call that drugs. I'd give this a 3 or 4.
I'd have gave it a 3. She gave it a 3.
Okay.
They were smoking. There was quite a bit of. You saw several characters smoking. It says main character smokes. College kids drink beer or champagne. An adult drinks hard liquor once. Once. She counted.
Right. I
That
thought he
was the
did it more
quarterback,
than once, but I thought I saw him with whiskey more than once. But anyway,
I don't know. Being off the sauce mentioned once. Flashback about sports scandal mentioned steroids, showing young man with a hypodermic needle. I guess I just overlooked that. Taking nitro pills frequently for chest pain mentioned.
okay.
That was mentioned, but I don't see how that's. 2 players shown putting large wads of chewing tobacco in their mouths, which makes one sick.
That was very funny.
That actually was hilarious. Alrighty. Says parents need to know that Necessary Roughness is a '90s movie about old school football. Taunting and hard hits rule the day, with many hits on to the head, but concussion and head injuries aren't mentioned because they didn't happen in the '90s. One field violence shows a lot of hard hits, punches, and small amounts of blood. Off the field, there's one bar brawl. A woman joins the team as the punter plays kicker and faces lewd, sexist taunting. Male nudity is shown from behind briefly. Strong language is frequent and includes the words we talked. Characters drinking, chewing tobacco, and smoke. Steroids mentioned as shown. Positive messages about teamwork are noticeably absent, but there are some positive messages about what it takes to be a leader. The one, Mike P. 2000 said, did this review a year ago. Fun sports movie. Similar to Major League, although not quite as good, but with less adult content. Had swearing and fighting. So
I could see that. I mean, I could see that. The humor was very similar. I think Major League was a little more slapstick, but it had that seriousness to it. So I can appreciate that comparison. Well said, sir. Well said.
I can't disagree, but it's been forever since I've watched.
What are we watching next week?
Well, you made a good suggestion before we started.
Did I? Because I haven't seen it, but I'm willing to watch it. Red Dawn?
That still makes it a good suggestion, sir.
All right. Let's do it then.
I didn't say that's what we were doing. I just said it was a good suggestion.
Oh, okay.
I'm just messing with you.
You said it's free and we can watch it, so.
It is currently, yes, free. Let me, if that's what you want to watch, we'll go with it. I put some stuff on my watch list here. Let's see if there's anything.
You got some stuff?
I've been kind of. And my internet doesn't want to load. Let's do Red Dawn. Let's do it.
Red Dawn.
I like it.
Not a sports movie, as I just recently found out.
We did a football movie because of opening weekend of NFL. Which you will see this after the opening weekend.
That's right.
Well,
it's completely finished.
Not completely, because we got Monday Night Football after this comes out.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. So we're still in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's recorded in the middle, and it'll be released in the middle.
Near the end.
We're just that good.
Yeah. We record after one game's been played, and we release when there's only one game left to be played in the week. So.
Yeah.
Hey, we got this.
On purpose.
So, you got anything else?
I think so.
All right.
No. All right.
Let's figure this out.
It did abruptly.
Do what?
That was just such an opportunity. You got it? No. All right, we're done. Bye.
That-
Adios. Deuces.
I,
Like, comment, subscribe, follow us at the Pantless Pod 1, the Pantless Podcast at
You do
gmail.com. All that jazz. Leave us a voicemail.
do that. 100% do that.
It's never been done before.
You would be the first.